Purpose and responsibility. Again, let me preface this by saying, my job is to get you guys ready for the advancement exam. So a lot of this stuff, it just dry, just fill in, okay? What you need to know, I'll go ahead and let you know what I have seen in the exam multiple times, and any one of the first classes here can attest to that, all right? The first thing you need to know is the instruction, right? What is the instruction for nutrition? Nutritional Management Standard for Human Performance Optimization. It's not still. What is it? OPNAVINST instruction 10.110.1. All right, that's one of the main things you guys need to know. Okay. What is the purpose of it? Establishes nutritional standard term, military dietary reference intake. All right, you'll see a lot of that MDRI, the acronym on the test. So please be familiar with some of these acronyms. All right. The next thing, the other acronym in there, NSRR, okay? Nutritional standards for restricted rations. We'll talk about that later on as we go along. Who's the executive manager for the nutrition program?
And again, why is that? What did I say all food-related items is going to be? Army.
All right. So please, please, please. It may seem redundant. It may seem repetitive. Please know that. All right. And that's the role of the Army. As you go up in the ranks, you're gonna go ahead and learn that, learn more of that on that thoroughly. But in the meantime, make sure you go ahead and read it. The easiest way to go about it is to read the instruction. All right. The Army established nutrition standard for meal served to military personnel. Collaborate with Joint Military Food Service forums to develop menu standards for meal, revise MDRI and SOR and SRR as additional scientific information on nutrient needs becoming available. All right. Basically, establish basic nutrition education, conduct periodic assessment on military personnel on nutrient and food consumption. Basically, what they telling you, that's what they cover. This is where they get their information from. The Dietary Guidelines for Americans and FNB Dietary Reference Intake, DRI. All right. Keynote. MDI did not reflect the nutritional needs of a pregnant or lactating military woman or individual requiring nutrition therapy. So, anybody work at a session command like Great Lakes, MCRD?
Yep.
So a lot of times we got recruits come in too skinny. Okay, hey, you have to go on a diet plan, all right? So that way you can put on some weight, because you know we have weight standard, not only up and down as well. All right, you can either be obese or don't have enough weight on you to be a military member. So that's what this is alluding to, especially for when they talk about nutritional therapy, especially for pregnant or lactating service women.
That one should make sense too, right? Because what happens if you are depriving a pregnant woman of nutrients that she needs? What's going to happen?
The baby gets infected.
Can't lactate, baby gets affected, it's going to cause complications, so you can't do that and constrict those nutrition standards for females, or pregnant females, because they're already trying to sustain the extra life that's within them.
The second bullet, basically paraphrasing, all right, to meet the nutritional demand guidelines for service member, family member, and DoD employees, it's average over 5 to 10 days period. All right. One key thing about every instruction, know if there's dates on there, know the dates. If there's any numbers pertaining to anything they're talking about, please know those dates or any numbers that attain to it. All right. 5 to 10 day period. That's how they average it from. All right. The updated energy allowance reflects estimate energy requirement for men and women. This is the age. All right. And the exam, if they said 18 to 24, 20 to 30, which one do you think will be? 20 to 30, right? Because the range is from 19 to 30, right? Just be mindful of that. It can go slightly one up, but it cannot go further down. So if it's between 19 to 30, it's always going to be between that time. All right, unless they have all of that there. Minimum 19, maximum is 30. Okay, that's the age estimated energy requirements for men and women. All right, and of course, men, women, the genetic, or however you identify as, there will be some slight changes. We'll see further down, okay?
Yeah, that's an easy way to remember it is age 30 is usually the standard where after 30, your body starts breaking down and your metabolism isn't as good between that 19 to 30 year range.
All right. So these are talking about NSARs, right? Nutritional standard for operation rations. All right. How long does it last up to?
So there's an easy.
Come on, guys. Let's engage. All right. That's the fastest way we can get through this. This is a 40-minute slides, and that's how you guys go ahead and get engaged, so that way you guys don't fall asleep. Okay. All right. So when we're talking about NSARs, how long does it last? How many days is it good for? 21 days. All right. What is the total calorie from fat? Should not exceed 1%. 30%. Okay. It's in red, so please know that. All right. And sauce up to 21 days, fat calories should not exceed up to 30%.
So I have an easy way to help you remember the 21 days because there's 2 more instances that you will see it. Does anybody know how long heat acclimatization takes? 3 weeks, which is how many days? Does anybody know how many days you can be eating MREs? 21 days. So you're only supposed to be able to eat MREs for up to 21 days, and you have to then vary it because they're basically constipating you for that 21-day period. So 21 days for MREs, 21 days for your NSORs, and then 21 days for your heat acclimatization. They're all FMF type on the march related items.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you. So we're talking about model operational ration enhancement more. All right. So every type of weather, your dietary needs will differ, right?
So to sustain them for that period.
So what it is, it helps sustain you for operational purposes, okay? So for the more, there are 2 types available: high altitude and cold weather. 2 types of more. What are they?
High altitude.
All right. So how many additional calories each pack provides? 1,100. Okay. The NSO does not apply to restricted rations. All right. Restricted rations or nutritionally incomplete rations. Remember that. Used in certain operational scenarios, such as long-range patrol, recon, when service members are exposed to extreme environment, are required to subsist for short periods of times. And when they're talking and carry minimal weight, so basically up to 10 days. So 10 days. So NSO, they are additional ration. Okay, just in case it's just to help you supplement anything that you might need to carry out your mission. And they are what amount of days? What amount of the period is what? Up to how many days?
10 days.
Up to 10 days. Okay. Meal, cold weather, 3 per day. Food packet, long range patrol, 1 per day. First strike ration, 1 per day.
So I have to make this make sense because I know I got confused looks on the face, right? NSORs, 21 days. Restricted rations, 10 days, right? And if you're cold weather, remember why there's more 3 packs per day. With your cold, right? You're burning more calories in a cold environment because your body is trying to stay warm, meaning that you're gonna go in an a calorie deficiency, right? So you have to have more calories to sustain yourself to keep your body warm and keep it on the move. Another reason why you have 1,100 additional calories in your NSORs. So cold pack is 3 a day because of that exact reason.
Okay. So everybody understand what he just said? All right. Cool. Survival ration include the food packet survival, general purpose 1,400 calories in the food packet survival, abandoned ship 2,400 calories. In the food packet survival aircraft lift ration 300 calories. So, being on the ship, grid side, that's basically what they're talking about. All right?
There's an easy way to visualize the sizes too. So think of a ship. Your ship is going to be your biggest item out of all 3 of these categories, meaning that it's going to have the most amount of calories for your 2,400. And then you think about a tiny little life raft, right? That's going to be your 300 calories. And the easy way to remember general purpose is almost remembering it just like it's an individual man or woman. When you're having a restricted diet, that calorie count is 1,400 to 1,500 calories, right? So for the general man, it's going to be 1,400. For a ship, 2,400. And then a little life raft will be 300.
Do y'all remember that? Hey, that's my personal 1,400. Shit, hey, that's how I remember it. Like, hey, that's my personal one. I just need 1,400 on me for at any time, all right? The ship, 2,400. It might take a little longer for them to come get you, so You need as much as you can to sustain you, right? A life ride, I'm just getting a ride. I'm just here for a ride along. I don't need that much, okay? That's how I rationalize it, and it works for me. So find a study method that works for you, all right? They are talking about MDRI, right, for energy, are calculated to represent the average needs of an individual with reference body weight, height, and weight. Again, as I alluded earlier to, depending on height and weight, sex, or whatever you identify as, your nutritional need will be different, correct? So, this reference is measured height and weight of 50%, 50th percentile of military men and women. All right, it's not everybody, just the 50th percentile. So that's the standard that they go by. The body size for weight and height in the military, please remember that. All right, 187 or 85 kilo, 187 pounds or 85 kilogram, and 69 inches is for who?
Men.
All right, what is the standard for women? All right, if you forget anything, please remember those sizes, okay? And then they will be going over our physical activities. Again, like Chimon said earlier, especially we were talking about cold, different weather, mission, training. All right, if you are training, depending on your training, how much MDI you gonna need for energy? All right. Vigorous physical training may have energy requirement that exceed 125% of the MDRI. Everybody remember what the MDRI was earlier? What was it? Go ahead, cheat. There's nothing wrong. You guys are not gonna get in trouble. It's moving the first couple of slides. What was it? Yeah, how many calories was it? Alright, I told you I had to write it down. Remember it was 11? There you go. Alright. So
Those are the those are the Moors. So technically, the thing he's talking about is the modular operational rational enhancements. Those are your Moors, are 1,100 calories. MDRIs are the standards that list out what calories and what percentages of each thing we should get. So that's why you saw MDRIs mentioned on your nutrition and diet therapy HM manual chapter.
So what was the right answer?
So your modular, the more, is 1,100 calories. Now, for what he's trying to hit on this point, what you guys need to pay attention to is think about it. If you are burning more calories, especially when you're under vigorous exercise, you're going to need to increase that intake. So that's why instead of 100%, you're eating 125% more to maintain your energy levels.
So, for example, 4,000 calories to 5,000 calories, those are just examples, right? Depending on the clothing that you're wearing, how much equipment that you have on, especially you guys being great side, all your going on rock and all that stuff, all the extra weight, 35% increase. Rough terrain, 25% increase. That's what it's about, okay?
If anybody's actually looked at the nutritional facts on the NMRE, I think they're aren't they like at least a couple thousand calories for that exact reason?
But we'll get to all of that later on in the slide, okay? I'm getting too far. There you go. Oh, you all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
You're
sorry.
going really
Hey, if you guys
really
take notes, please let me know, all right?
fast.
Okay. Let me know when you give me a thumbs up when you're.
We've asked the percentile question on the test before. I remember I used to always overlook it and not pay attention to it, and then all of a sudden it snapped up and popped me in the face. So know that it's not going to be your 90th percentile or 70th percentile. It will be 50th percentile of military men and women.
Again, it sounds like, okay, that makes no sense, but hey, I'm only here to get you guys ready for the advancement exam, all right? We're going based off what's in the instruction, and that's what all these slides, all the information on these slides come from the instructions, all right? Do you usually send them these slides as well, too?
Yeah, they all have all the slides already,
All right.
or they should.
Yeah, it's no rush. What's up? Everybody good to go? Yes.
So should we also know the kilograms and?
Yes. Yes. Alright. A lot of time, hey, who has time to do math on the test, right? 187 pounds divided by 2.2. I don't have time for that. Alright, just know the kilogram, okay? They can ask you either or.
If you like to imagine it too, just because I like to think in my head, that 69 inches is a 5'11" or 5'9" male, right? That's saying an average male 5'9" is the average height at 187 pounds, right? And then for a woman, it's saying it's 5'4", 5'4", right? And so I like to look at it that way because I like seeing the inches as that height, so it kind of already tells me there. Because if you already know how to do 12 in your math on how to do feet, it makes more sense on seeing that individual and what they look like.
All right. Any other questions? That was a good question. Any other questions? All right. Carbs. A lot of people, carbs. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen that, those numbers on an investment exam. Okay. Carbs. Long period of intense physical activity. Though this require range from 1.8 to 3.6 gram of carb per pound of body weight. 4 to 8 gram carb per kilogram. The only reason it's slightly higher, between what you call it, for pound to kilogram is because of the conversion. All right, but remember, if they talking in pound, 1.8 to 3.6. If they're talking in kilogram, 4 to 8. Okay.
And remember what I talked about yesterday, right? The reason why it's such a high percentage is your carbs are going to be the ones that are giving you that energy. That's why I was telling you I go against no carb at all diets because you need carbs to at least sustain yourself with energy.
All right. Again, 50 to 55% of the total calories ensure that you meet the MDRI threshold, okay, for carb intakes. All right. Again, men and women, the amount needed for each always going to be different, right? For men, what's the number for men? Y'all can see back there? All right. And what's the number for women? 276 to what? 552. Okay. Easiest way to remember that, I just remember the first one and I multiply by 2.
That's an easy way to remember the range too, because what's 18 times 2?
All right.
36. So 1.8 to 3.6 is 18 times 2.
All right. That's the easiest way. All right. Multiply by 2, yep. So 1.6 times 2, 3.6 gram per pound. 4 times 2 is 0.8 gram per kilogram. And then for the total calories, for men, 340 gram per day times 2 is 680. 276 times 2 is 552. That's how I remember. It makes it a whole lot easier for me. Again, if you guys don't retain anything from this, everything that's in red, please write it down. Alright? We're gonna go ahead and go over protein real quick. The same mathematical methods I use, right? For kilogram for protein, 0.8 to 1.6 per kilogram. 0.4 to 0.7 gram protein per pound. Alright? The MDI is easily met with a 10 to 35% intake, the total calorie intakes for protein. Again, for men, 68 to 136. For women, 55 to 110.
Again, look at that math for that range. 8 times 2 is what? 16. So 0.8 to 1.6. See how that matches up? I know, so many numbers.
Alright. If you taking notes, there's no rush, alright? Take your notes. Fat. 30% or less of the total calories should be consumed as fat in your nutritional diet. Alright, remember that. What's the percentage for fat that you need in your, that should be consumed in your diet? Less than 30%. Alright. But, again, saturated fat is what? Alright.
And there's knowing your difference between your good fats and your bad fats and why you only have 10% there. So your 30% are going to be your cottage cheese, your black olives, your almonds, your walnuts, whatever else. And then all those bad fatty fats like peanut butter will be falling into your saturated fats. Yes, peanut butter is bad. Have you ever looked at the serving size? 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter is 240 calories. I love peanut butter, so I just know I've looked before.
Finish my peanut too, so I don't care. Alright. But moving along, alright, fiber. 34 grams for men, 28 for women. And iron, 8 for men, 18 for women. Alright. Iron is the only one that women require more than men. Alright? So if you just so you guys don't get confused. Okay?
And why do you think that is? Yes, because you bleed. So that's why you're gonna need more.
You guys are smarter than me. I'm telling you, I didn't find out about EAP until almost my second year in the Navy. Alright. Any questions so far on this slide? Okay. Again, just to recap, right? Carl, if you're using pound per body weight, what's the range? All right. If you're using kilogram, what's the range? All right. For men, what? How many grams per day? For women. All right. So to meet your carb intake, what's the percentage that you need total calories?
50 to 55.
All right. For protein, what's the range for per kilogram?
1.082.
All right. What is the range for pound?
4.7.
For men, how many grams per day? What's the range? For protein. We will see on protein. 68 to what?
136.
All right. For women?
55 to 110 grams per day.
All right. How many total calories should we consume as fat?
35%.
Less than 30% or less. Less than 30%. All right. How about saturated fat? How many total calories should we consume?
Less than 10%.
All right. What's the range for fiber for men? 34 grams. How about women? All right. Iron. What's the range for men? What's the range for women?
18.
And what is that? All right. Everybody tracking? Easy day. Water, sodium, and cold electrolyte beverage. All right. Cool water playing favor is the beverage of choice for preventing dehydration. That's common sense, right? Everybody like the cold ice water. Okay. All right. So during a period of light, moderate activity in the temperate climate, less than 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. What's the average fluid intake, daily fluid intake? What's the range? 2. What is it? 2 to 5 quarts of fluid. All right. Based on the current MDRI, what is the average for men? What is it? 3 to 4.5, all right? What's the average per day for women? All right, you guys see the math? The 2 to 5 goes up, right? Women, men and women, right? Women 2 to 3, men 3 to 4.5. All right, but max of 5 quarts of fluid. Water requirements increase more drastically in hot weather. Again, as opposed to eating, we burn more calories. We need more calories to provide heat, right, in cold weather. But in hot weather, why do we need more water for? Sweating. Exactly. Keep you hydrated. Keep these and stuff shutting down. Alright, nobody want to eat cases. I hate those. Alright, depending on what it is, your water intake might triple. Alright, depending on where you're at, what exercise you are doing. Alright, some people here probably drink 3 gallons. I drink 2 gallons of water a day. Why, I don't know, but I do. Okay. Any questions so far? Everybody still taking notes, or y'all good for the next slide? Good. Alright, when sodium replacement is required, it is preferred to be obtained through food, beverages, and as added salt to food, rather than salt consumption. Please don't be one of those knucklehead Marines that just think it's funny. Alright? Especially you guys miss like having to be every day with your bad habits, so don't do that. Okay? If you need salt, don't just go ahead and down a pack of salt just in case. Get it through your food, beverages, and season your food.
And why is that important?
So you don't get hypernatremia.
Yep. So what happened when have you ever hear about playing sports and people eating bananas or drinking Gatorade after workout? What happens if you don't do that? What happens to your body?
Hyponatremia.
Yeah, but I mean like in simple terms, what happens?
Sorry, cramps and you get dehydrated.
Yeah.
Cramps and dehydration, right? So your muscles will start tensing up and you can't move, so that's why you have to have that sodium replacement in there.
The use of, they talk about using salt tablets or pills as alternative as well. Okay? Rather than consider salt formulation, for example, salt tablet or pills. Don't do those crap. The use of carb electrolyte beverages justified under the following conditions. Again, when troops have poor nutritional intake, sustain energy deficient of more than 1 calories. Read over that. I wouldn't put that much stock into it, but the main thing you need to know is the first one. Alright? Prefer that to be obtained. How you get your salt? Food, beverages, and added salt to the food. Alright? Any questions for that?
You need to put a star next to that triple on the last slide too, because that one has been on the test multiple times and how much you're increasing your water requirements.
This is the last slide?
Yeah, it says triple at the very end of it. That one
Yeah.
I have seen multiple times on the test.
Again, it's a lot of numbers to remember, right? It can get tricky because some of these numbers look similar to other stuff that you guys have learned so far. Find what works for you guys. Alright? Ditties, what else? Flashcards, group study, whatever. Alright? Department of Defense menu standard and additional nutrition guidelines. Okay? The recommended dose of caffeine for operational utility is 100 to 200 milligrams. Now, granted, I know somebody, well, I drink more than that. Look, this is just for the test, okay? This is all you need to know. For operational utility is 100 to 200 milligrams. Dose of caffeine. 100, 2 hours. 200 for 4 hours. All right? I don't care how much caffeine you get in your system in the morning before 8 o'clock, between 6 to 8. But for tests, this is what you need. All right? 100 to 200 within a 4-hour period max. Okay? 100 for every 2 hours, 200 every 4 hours. Caffeine content of operational ration components is 100 per servings. What's the purpose of it? Everybody know why y'all drink coffee, man. I need to focus. Okay? That's basically what it is in the gist, all right? War fighters should stop ingestion of caffeine product at least how many hours before sleep?
Because we said rest does what yesterday?
Repairs your body.
Repairs your body and heals and keeps it healthy. So if you're drinking caffeine, you cannot really sleep for 6 hours, for at least those 8 hours that you're supposed to be getting per night. We all know we don't, but we should try to.
Okay. All right, key thing is, from this one, 100 to 200, 100 every 2 hours, 200 every 4 hours. Stop drinking coffee 6 hours before I go to bed.
Again, if you do math, it makes sense.
Okay.
One times one is the 2 there, and then 2 times 2 is what? 4. So 200 for 4, 100 for 2.
That's it. That's the easiest way. Dining facility will offer a reduced calorie menu, 1,500 to 1,600 calories a day. Again, here comes the total fat of the energy value. What was it earlier? Less than 30%, right? Here should not exceed 30%. So it's the same thing they are saying in different ways. Total fat of the energy value, no more than 30%. Okay? And reduced calorie per day is 1,500 to 1,600.
See?
All right? Each meal should contain approximately 500 calories.
There's a very easy way to remember this. Most weight loss plans have the same structure with limiting your meals to 500 calories per meal. Because if it says reduced calorie, because it's like if you're trying to lose weight, this is what you're going to be limiting your calories to per day. So you are burning more calories than you are putting in.
No questions so far on that one. Again, like we said earlier, depending on what you're doing, the environment, you might need more than the 15 to 1600. So you got, depending on where you're at, you might have an increased calories per meal, 600 to 700, which about 18 to 2100 total for the day. Okay. All right. That was it. Oh shit. Oh shit.
But yeah, to keep that in mind, it's like, I know I've never been, but some might. If you're going to like Afghanistan and Iraq, in your environment that's hot all the damn time and you're burning energy, they're going to build their dining facilities that have these higher calorie menus. If you're here stateside, with none of that really going on, they're going to keep that down to that 1,500, 1,600 level.
You say what?